Hello, I'm Dana Cowley, and welcome to Charter Local Edition Northwest. My guest today is Josephine County Commissioner Simon Hare. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
You recently had a visit from one of our federal lawmakers coming out to talk about the monuments.
Yes.
And then you got to serve him with a lawsuit right directly afterwards.
Well, actually, preceding his visit, yeah, absolutely. A little ironic. Secretary Zinke, Secretary of the Interior, who oversees all of the Bureau of Land Management lands and jurisdiction all over the country, about 16 million acres in the West, he came out for a visit. And really, it was at the direction of the President to evaluate monument designations over the last decade or so that had significant impacts, maybe about 100,000 acres or so. One monument in particular that's located in the region that I represent in Josephine County. It's actually in Jackson and Klamath County, but it's the Siskiyou Crest National Monument. It was recently expanded by the Obama administration by about 50,000 acres. 83% of that designation fell under the ONC Lands Act of 1937 and the designation that put onto the landscape to be a revenue generator for counties and the local economies, but also for sustainable timber supply. And so that was something that the ONC Association felt was outside the scope and bounds of the President based on a prior designation by Congress. And so out of the 6 lawsuits that Secretary Zinke inherited on his first day in office, I believe one of those had to do with that. And really what we're just looking for is clarification on the law. Mm-hmm. We're not saying that that designation was not warranted or not proper, it just was inconsistent with the law.
And so, for the benefit of your constituents, which way should it fall, in your opinion?
Well, technically, I believe the law is pretty clear. There's a 1942 solicitor's opinion that says that an act just like the ONC Act precedes the authority of the President to redesignate that, which is Congress has already designated. And so there were private lands that were also included in that were maybe not quite appropriate. And so refining the boundary is, I think, a really important thing to where you take into account the special places that are provided for under the Antiquities Act, but you don't re-prescribe the landscape that Congress has already prescribed for a specific purpose. So hopefully there's a way that we can have a win-win on this situation.
Well, if someone goes in and more methodically does that careful cutting around, in the area that's in question, how much is in commercial timber or commercial farming or production lands that would be, if that's removed or taken out, where people would really be losing money or their livelihood?
I think that's exactly the question that Secretary Zinke was trying to get to the bottom of a scientific designation as opposed to one that was not really done in a very transparent way. It was really done by most people's standards behind closed doors by just a few select people, and there was really no consultation with the local county governments, the local citizens in a broad perspective. And so that is really important, I think, to Secretary Zinke to figure out a way that it's reflective of science, the specific things that need to take and be protected, and done in an open, transparent way. He met with the governor of Oregon. He met with other stakeholders that were in support of the designation, and then those who were questioning the designation. So I think that's really important, that it's a broad conversation.
There's quite a bit of an outcry from people all across the country. I've been seeing this really since 9/11, where public involvement is becoming more of a priority. It's
it really
like media is becoming more fragmented. People are having smaller groups of media exchange, but this public involvement and really wanting to have a local citizens group or an advisory board get together and really participate in these big decisions.
It's been a priority of me for having that transparency and public involvement. I've asked 7 or 8 non-binding questions, or the Board of Commissioners has, since I've been in office for just 6.5 years. And that's more than the history of Josephine County ever, and maybe more than all other counties in the state combined. But I really took advantage of the opportunity to put a question on the ballot to just more than people who could come to an open town hall on a particular subject, maybe during the weekday, or it just wasn't convenient for them, or you have people who are in polarized positions coming to those meetings where you don't actually get to hear from John Q. Public. And that's really important to me, and has been to previous boards, and hopefully will continue.
Well, Simon, thank you so much for being here.
Dana.
We wish you good luck. This is Josephine County Commissioner Simon Hare. I'm Dana Cowley, and thanks for watching Charter Local Edition Northwest.